It's 3 a.m. So we've been right there for about 10 minutes. It's pretty windy. Whoever it was sounded like they were screaming at my vehicle in specific, but whatever it is, they got sick of being out in weather and they're screaming. Let's see if I can even stand up. I'm hoping so. I don't think it's Wolnez. Whoever it is, they're over at one of the entrances. Heard somebody screaming earlier.
What's up, buddy?
Heard somebody screaming a few minutes ago.
Oh, it wasn't me. Sorry about that. There's just a lot of shit going on.
That's alright. You're not the person I thought was screaming, and that's relief.
Yeah. I gotta get my rages out. To smile. It's not easy being happy.
Right?
Been staying dry?
Mostly. Is there any way I can talk you out of a cancer?
Cigarette? Let me see if anybody inside has one.
Oh, those are
my
empty?
last halfie.
I know I have some in my car. I just gotta go. I just gotta go back to my car and get it.
Okay.
So I ain't gonna make you go inside for a cancer.
Alright. I'll get the cure.
Dennis Leary is the cure for cancer.
You know, the leading cause of cancer is stress and anxiety. It's your mental brain You know, it's how you deal with all this shit.
It makes your whole body so much weaker and more prone for attacks.
Yeah, kind of like antibiotics. Antibiotics can help you out, but if you overuse them, it just breaks your system down.
I can't even take like NSAIDs, ibuprofen. Shit'll kill me. I'm all natural. To way God intended.
Yeah, steer clear of everything but tobacco and pot.
Yeah. Hey man, you be careful. There's some guy smoking weed and screaming out here.
Holy shit, no way, man.
I'll see you in a little while, yeah?
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Be safe. Let me guess, somebody gonna try pretending I'm an evil SOB because I admitted I smoke pot.
Oh my God, Sean, you're a sinner. You're a sinner.
You and me both, pal. Anyway. You're able to identify who was screaming. No problem. Nobody got hurt. Nobody's life was threatened. And from the way he was sitting, yeah, it would have sounded like it was being yelled at my vehicle because he's facing right in my direction. But anybody who comes out of that exit is gonna be facing my direction. When I get really super frustrated, I do curse like a banshee. When nothing else works, that's when I curse. One of the biggest issues I had is people saying they're going to help and then they don't come through. Now, it's not just the fact that they didn't come through. It's the fact that they promised that they would help and they didn't. The least they could have done is admit that I went to them for help. That's one of the things that a lot of people who threw me away, that's what they threw me away over, telling the truth. Oh, Sean, how dare you admit that you went to me for help? How dare you admit that I talked over you the whole time? Well, you're welcome. Everybody's allowed to have bad days once in a while, right? What I've had to go through can only be described as cruel and unusual punishment. There's a lot of people that knew what was going on, or at least in part, that should have come forward. They all had the opportunity to not end up on my YouTube channel. And all it would have taken was for them to be honest. Is that too much to ask? Well, if you ask a neurotypical, yes, it's too much to ask. Neurotypicals are in love with bullshit. Petty things. I'm just glad it wasn't Walnez. If someone is screaming because shit is fucked up, that I can understand. It's when it's directed aggression that I intervene. Some people, they just get frustrated and rage a little bit. And some people get frustrated and they rage until they find somebody that they can narrow in on that's easy to victimize. A lot of people expected me to just shut up just because they wanted it. Oh, Sean, why don't you just let it go? Well, because I'm victimized everywhere I go, that's why. And any idiot that took a look would have seen this coming. Of course, the biggest idiots are the ones who made decisions without looking. And we're all guilty of that, ain't we? When Jamie Curtis wanted to manipulate me, well, she just pretended like there was an issue going on with James. And that her and her son had to be afraid. That was right before Natalie was killed. Anyway, it's 3 a.m. I haven't gotten any sleep. Almost a couple of times I did lay down to get warm. the damn window popping open and closed on me, making fucking annoying noises, kind of fuck shit up a bit, but whatever. Some of y'all might remember a guy named John. He got into a fight with a homeless feller. I believe his name is either Kevin or Kyle. That was on my channel, actually, in this parking lot. Well, that guy that John got into a fight with came up and apologized to me for yelling at me. Meanwhile, John wasn't even pissed off at that guy, he was just pissed off at me. He took it out on the wrong person. John came back and apologized too. So both of those crazy homeless men, as you guys label them, both of them apologized for what they did. I've made plenty of apologies in my day. But I'm only going to apologize if I really mean it. And if you're a predator, I don't really mean it. There are people that, if they were not predatory, I would apologize to them. If they chose to stop the predation, then I would apologize to them. Or if they were to come forward and show that they told the truth in the situations where they absolutely didn't, I'd give them an apology. A lot of people want extra leeway because they don't have the balls to stand up to the police. Maybe you can afford that in your situation, but I can't afford it in mine. Having to go to the police alone makes things suck. There's a lot of people pissed off that I spoke up angrily about the situation involving them. Well, I have every reason to be pissed off about the situations. There's a lot of people that were going to help me to stop the abuse that never got around to it. But worse than that, they didn't bother coming forward with me to the police to explain why they didn't come forward, despite their many promises to do so. You get to see I work well with others. I get overwhelmed when there's a time limit on it and people procrastinate day in and day out and day in and day out. Or, of course, there are those who actually have these family issues and actually have these health issues. And they're the ones that are the most giving because they understand what it's like to be in that situation, at least to some degree. But many people don't understand how having their friends and family members that they can see every day, that they develop relationships and friendships with, they don't stop to recognize how that prevents them from becoming like me. Completely afraid of people because they have an overwhelming amount of selfishness this day and age. the youth at Tillamook Sporting Goods, well, that hang out at the parking lot down there, they have victimized me enough to be considered, well, they've done it enough times for them to be considered hate crimes, but also the individuals committing them, because they keep switching vehicles and have had so many different vehicles involved, and so many of those youngins involved. It's organized crime. They may think of it as jokes, but it's not a laughing matter. And the corpses in my past are a testament to that. And many more of my loved ones will die in the future. It is an inevitable and inescapable fact that we are all going to pass away someday. And there are people so incredibly offended by that. They're offended that somebody will tell them the truth. You're not 10 foot tall. You're not bulletproof. You're not Superman. You're not Wonder Woman. This isn't a video game where you get shot and you respawn. There's a few soldiers come back from Afghanistan. We're talking about going through a firefight. And the one guy who was doing the interview, he was talking about how, while he was over there, sometimes he'd shoot somebody, shoot in their general direction, but it's combat. I mean, you don't know if you hit them or if they just hit the dirt. He said he was able to see one guy that he shot. He just kept shooting up at that window until the window stopped shooting back. I have a lot of respect for what they survived, but not a lot of respect for what they do. You just use false ideals. You know, in reality, them kids are signing up for the military because there's no options where they're at. There's no decent paying jobs. You either join the military or you become a janitor for the rest of your life. If you're lucky enough to get the janitor's position. I've been the janitor. It's not illustrious, but it keeps your ass clean, don't it? I've scrubbed plenty of toilets. I've also cut down trees. I've helped to build houses out of brick, out of stone, tile, wood, you name it. I got a lot of experience in construction. That doesn't mean I'm able to do that work. Knowing how to do something is not the same as being physically capable. Anyway, I got a lot of anxiety. But my anxieties are well founded. It's not like I don't record these situations or people's assumptions. Anyway, the feller who was venting was just venting. It wasn't hatred towards me. It wasn't any sort of malicious intent, like with Wolnez. Just somebody who's frustrated, you know? It happens. We've all been there. You guys have gotten to hear me making funny noises and rocking back and forth in my vehicle. The stuff that he was yelling, you know, it's... How do y'all youngins say it? It's whatever. It's whatever. When I was younger, I used to say that to my dad all the time. Whatever. Whatever. Mostly because my dad would say some of the world's most ignorant shit and then get pissed off when I didn't believe him. Like, I'd already been through sex ed probably 3 or 4 times when my dad tried telling me that women pee out of the same hole that babies come out of. I'm like, no, Dad, they don't. They pee out of their urethra, same as boys do. So these military folks, things that they do, you call it honor. You're doing it for our rights as Americans, except what Americans have those rights? Are our rights in jeopardy in Iraq? How about Afghanistan? Mind you, these are American rights. Our Constitution is only for the United States of America. What are these people doing in foreign lands, claiming that they're protecting our rights? You mean the rights that poor people don't have? The rights that the working class don't have? You mean those rights?